right, we thought we'd come back. We've got the tornado warning in effect now for Sumter County. We just did the update on television. And again, let me just say up front that Sumter County in West Alabama is in the Meridian, Mississippi television market. So people there cannot watch us on television. That's the reason we're not live on TV, but we thought we'd come live here and talk about this. So let's go back to the radar. This is coming from Jackson. And again, we've talked about the radar problem here. It's a situation where radar coverage is not good, but you can clearly see the issue. And again, we have a potential tornado right here that is now east of Meridian, just south of Tumsuba, Mississippi, nearing the interstate, and that's moving northeast. And that will be moving up toward the southern part of Sumter County. Again, you've got Cuba, which is right here, York, which is right here, and then Livingston, which is up here. And this is going to be moving into a much more stable air mass. And, of course, the question is how long will this thing stay intact? And, again, we don't have an answer for that. We'll just have to watch that. But I think it's a course of least regret is what the Weather Service is doing here, and that they're posting the tornado warning in effect for that part of Sumter County near Interstate 5920 and US 11. So again, as we look at the warning here, understand this does include York and this does include Livingston. And in the polygon, you've got the University of West Alabama in Livingston. And again, the polygon edge is right there. And again, so there's the other edge right over here. So this is the part of Sumter County we're concerned about. And again, the possible tornado should be crossing the state line, which is right here, in a matter of maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes if this thing holds together. And again, that's a big if at this point. And again, that's what it looks like from Jackson. Let's go to the Columbus Air Force Base radar and see what it looks like. And again, it's going to be pretty rough from here. It's going to be really noisy. And like we've talked about, this is a tough spot. The radar beam from Columbus is 9,500 feet off the ground. And it's going to be even higher for Birmingham. So at this point, Jackson gives us the better view of this thing. And again, you can see multiple tornado indications over here. Really, the more serious one is this one right here that is going to be passing near Shibuda, Mississippi. And again, that's moving northeast. That'll take it up into Choctaw County, Alabama, fairly soon. And remember, conditions favor potential for some violent long-track tornadoes today, especially farther south than this one. So again, the reason we're live here, and again, it's 2:09, is that we have a potential tornado here near Tumsuba. That is near the Alabama-Mississippi state line, very close to Interstate 5920. And the tornado is moving to the northeast, pretty much really up the interstate, if you will. And so again, some of the communities in Sumter County involved here would be Cuba, York, and then ultimately Livingston and the campus of the University of West Alabama. So, again, if you're in any of these places we've talked about, if you're in the polygon, what do? Respect the polygon and be in a safe place. Helmets for everybody. No mobile homes and no cars. We advise no travel on Interstate 5920 through Sumter County at this point till we give you an all clear. And if you're trying to get to Meridian from, say, Utah, Alabama, just stop at around Bolagie or somewhere up there and there's a rest stop near there and just stop and wait this thing out. Again, we'll give you an all clear hopefully soon. And again, we talked about this. The edge of the unstable air is about right here. Up in this zone, the air is rain-cooled and stable. Down here, it's unstable. And again, whether the line is here or here or here, we just don't know that at this point. But it's going to be ultimately crossing over into more stable atmosphere. And this signature will slowly fade away. And I really don't think we have any concerns in Tuscaloosa in the near term. Now, the question is, could we see the unstable air reaching as far north as Tuscaloosa? Maybe later this evening, but it's a big maybe. So this is the big view coming from the Birmingham radar. And again, you can see we have a large rain mass over north and west Alabama. This is cool, stable air, rain-cooled. And it's going to be really hard to get the instability up to Tuscaloosa, but it might happen. It's iffy. And I'd say the chance of severe weather for Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, very low. Huntsville, very low. It's basically just rain, a rainy evening for the northern part of the state. But again, you can see the tornado warning polygons down here coming out of southeastern Mississippi, and we've got that one for Sumter County in West Alabama. And again, that would include that segment of Sumter County roughly along Interstate 5920 and US 11. And this signature will be pretty much coming right up the interstate, right up 5920. And if by chance it holds together, it would move into Greene County, crossing the Tombigbee. But again, the air, it's different. Again, with a stable, cool air mass up here, I just don't think it's going to hold together that long. And this is probably as far north as the tornado warnings, I think, will be today. But again, if you're in Sumter or Greene or Hale or Perry, that's probably the northern extent of the threat. In fact, real quick, this is the tornado watch in case you've not seen it. And again, the watch includes Sumter, Greene, Hale, Perry, and counties to the south, all the way down to Mobile. And then, of course, all of southeastern Mississippi is involved in this as well. And we're just watching these instability values. And again, this is the current instability now, and this is the instability about 7 o'clock this evening. And you need that surface-based instability for a tornado threat. And clearly the main threat is over the southern half of the state, but this one thunderstorm, this one cell is kind of on the far, far northern part of the instability axis. So again, let's go back to what I'm going to do is stop this. We're going to go back to the Jackson radar, which is going to give us a better look at this thing at this point. And again, we'll put the velocity on, which is going to tell the story. In this situation, reflectivity is not going to help that much. And I'll tell you, this thing right here just looks nasty. This one right here, this is near Shibuda, Mississippi. And that'll be crossing over here into Choctaw County, Alabama. But you can see that right there. That's a really, really dangerous thunderstorm. That's where you've got really high-quality, unstable air. And also, we should mention there's another tornado indication now, again, south of Meridian. These things are just lined up like cars on a train track. This one right here. It could be a tornado. And again, the reason we're here, it's this right here, this indication of a rotation which is just a little to the east of Tumsuba, Mississippi, moving to the northeast. And as expected, the velocities have come way down in the past couple of volume scans. And as this moves into a more stable air mass, this could easily dissipate before getting into Sumter County. The rotation is still in Mississippi. It is not in Sumter County. But again, the right thing to do here is to respect the polygon and be in a safe place. If you're in York, Livingston, if you're on the campus of the University of West Alabama, and just stay there until we give you an all clear. We're watching the various chat sessions here from the National Weather Service, and hopefully if this continues to kind of fizzle, Birmingham is very good about canceling tornado warnings when there's no tornado danger. But again, it's a little too early to do that. And remember, the radar beam is, 6,500 feet from Jackson here. The beam height is very high. We have a very poor area of radar coverage here. And we've said this all along. We preached and preached and preached, but we need a radar at either York or Livingston or Demopolis or Meridian. We used to have one for years. It was decommissioned in 1996. We had one at Meridian at Key Field, and that is greatly missed. But when the NexRad systems came online, they took that one down and did not build a WSR 88D there. But that's a subject for another day. So again, let's kind of expand this out. And you can see these other rotational signatures here. We've got one that is south of Ellisville. And again, the greatest concern is this thing right here near Shibuda, Mississippi. That's pretty nasty looking. And again, if this thing holds together, this could wind up in Choctaw County, Alabama. This is going to be moving up like that. Butler is right here, and this is going to be up in northern Choctaw if it holds together. This is Alabama Highway 17 right there. That's the main north-south highway through Choctaw County. But again, let's go back up to our storm that is kind of knocking on the door here. It's near the Alabama-Mississippi state line. And if you're just joining us here, we're live on YouTube and Facebook as we're covering this for the digital side and the social side. I'll have to go do some television here shortly. In fact, I've got to do an update on ABC 3340 at 2:30. And again, people cannot watch us in Sumter County on television, so we don't interrupt programming for counties where they can't watch us on television. We do it here on the digital side where there are no boundaries. So again, we're going to watch this really carefully here. And again, let me take a look at the session here coming from the Weather Service in Birmingham. And again, if it continues to slowly fizzle, and again, you can see with each volume scan, just got that new volume scan right here, the velocities continue to come down. This is clearly a more important signature down here southeast of downtown Meridian, but the lead signature is beginning to just fade as it hits that more stable air mass. And we are very thankful we have a stable air mass in place over much of North Alabama, because if we had unstable air statewide, this would be a really nasty, larger scale event. But still, don't let me take away from the importance of paying attention to this. And if you've not seen this, this is the latest convective outlook from the SPC guys. And again, you've got that level 4 out of 5 risk over southwest Alabama, and that's the initial concern for the next several hours, the broad zone from Demopolis down toward Mobile. And we could see a few long-track, strong tornadoes in there, EF3 or higher. And then we have a level 3 out of 5 risk all the way over to Dothan and Ozark and Troy, the areas in orange. And then as you go farther north, it's iffy, depending on how far north the instability moves northward tonight. But we do have a level 2 out of 5 up to Tuscaloosa and Jemison and Opelika. And I just don't think we have any problems with severe storms in Birmingham tonight. Anniston, Gadsden, the same thing. It points north because it's just a stable, rain-cooled air mass, and we're thankful for that. So before we go here, one more time, and again, I got to go do some television in Studio A over here. We're watching a weakening tornado signature that is currently over the Alabama-Mississippi state line. And it's very broad. It quite frankly doesn't look like it's down at this point. And again, I think the Weather Service will watch another couple of volume scans, and if it continues to dissipate, they'll let that tornado warning expire or cancel it. But still, as of 2:18, if you're in Sumter County in York, Livingston, stay sheltered until we can give you an all clear, and hopefully that will be sooner than later. But again, that broad rotation, it's broad now, is about to cross over the Alabama-Mississippi state line just north of Interstate 5920. And most likely, if there's anything there, it's going to stay a little north of the interstate. That means the greatest danger here would be a little north of York and probably a little north of Livingston. But, again, we have learned over the years that when you've got a beam that is so high, you don't exactly know where the surface feature is. And so just respect that polygon. All these crazy things I say, we say for a reason. If you're in it, stay sheltered. And if you're not, just watch. You don't need to do anything if you're not in a polygon at this point. And the only Alabama county in a warning is this one. This is Sumter County, Alabama. The tornado warning, is scheduled to expire in 25 minutes. At, let's see, that's in effect until 2:45. So again, we've got this broad rotation. And just for the fun of it, let's take a look at Birmingham and see if we can see maybe anything better from Birmingham. And not really. And again, the beam height is 10,000 feet from Birmingham. I say Birmingham, the Shelby County Airport. So 10,000 feet off the ground. We don't see any sign of rotation there. Let's take a look at the Columbus Air Force Base radar. And again, it's going to be awfully noisy down here. Can't see anything there. The beam height is 9,200 feet. So let's go back to Jackson, which has been giving us the better view of this thing. And again, you can see the circulation is very broad, and it's on the Alabama-Mississippi state line north of Cuba, a little north of Interstate 5920. So again, the good news, this feature continues to weaken. Of course, we got the one coming up behind it, and these are training today, just like railroad cars on a track. Again, this is the lead wave, or the lead circulation here that's weakening. This is the one coming up behind it, and it's kind of basically following in the same path here. And all these things are moving northeast. And that one certainly looks more concerning at this point. And again, that's going to probably behave like this other one. But it's about to cross Mississippi Highway 18 southeast of Meridian. And I think the same thing's going to happen with this. It will weaken once it crosses north of Interstate 5920 into a more stable air mass. And again, this thing down here is just really, really dangerous. The lightning output, it's in a much better air mass down here. This tornado, or what possible tornado near Shibuya, Mississippi, And we'll check the correlation coefficient on that one really quickly. And we're not seeing a well-defined TDS, but still the velocity signature is quite impressive on that possible tornado there. And again, that'll be crossing into Choctaw County, Alabama. So if you're in Choctaw County, heads up, a warning could be required. But again, I'll just tell you the good news, the circulation continues to weaken on the storm coming up into Sumter County as it moves into a rain-cooled, stable air mass. And we'll see if the Weather Service allows that to expire. And again, a few other notes real quick, and I got to do some television on the TV side over here real quick. There's your tornado watch until 8 o'clock for southwest Alabama. And in terms of the timing, the window for west and southwest Alabama now until 7, south central Alabama 4 p.m. until 9 p.m., southeast Alabama 8 p.m. until 1 a.m. So, again, I'm going to wrap up this segment of live coverage here on the social digital side, and we'll be on the television side here in just a second. ABC 3340 News begins at 4, and again, if we have any warnings for our TV coverage, we'll be wall to wall. I don't think we'll have them this evening. I think that most of them will stay south of the TV side, but I'll post as many notes as I can here on the social side. So, for now,